Hey yo, what up, fans of the fucking sport? What up, it's Lamech with Selah Sports TV, back at it again. Cheer. Um, it brings me great pleasure to actually have something positive to talk about, right? Um, Far too often in this I think we can still call it a sport of boxing, hasn't quite crossed over into the WWE territory yet, but it's well on its way. Well on its way. But the sport of boxing, we've had too many negative stories. And by negative, I mean like really, really negative. You know, I could count them, but I'm pretty sure you guys know, like when I say negative stories, I'm pretty sure like a few things come to mind instantly. You know, some of them involving fighters, some of them involving things around the sport, like uh, sanctioning bodies, some of them involving the actual boxing fans, right? But here we have uh, something that we can all look forward to, right? There's no bad guys uh, in the story, right? What it is just guys chasing greatness. That's what the sport is supposed to be about. That's what it's all supposed to be about. Real quick before I get into that, why don't you go ahead and bang off on that like button one time? But real quick, I'll just start by saying, as far as one negative story, I think when we're dealing with an intention whore, nothing to do with this, nothing to do with these guys, right? Side story, real quick. When we're dealing with the toxic attention whore in the sport of boxing, where he everything he's doing is for attention. He's just saying a bunch of wild shit, doing a bunch of wild shit. Um, every day it's something new. Every day he's calling somebody else out. Every day he's got somebody's name in his mouth. Um, every day he's online, taking shots and just crashing out, right? When we're dealing with a guy like that, where he thrives and feeds off the attention, right? Because this guy was probably a social media guy from the jump, right? So it's all about content, right? It's all about content. You guys know that. You guys definitely know that. But when it's all about content, let's not feed into it by giving him the lifeline he needs. What's the lifeline? The attention. How about if we starve him of the attention? How about if we never mention this cocksucker's name, right? How about if we just never do that? How about if we never give him a thumbnail, right? And it only works if we all do it. So yeah, I've definitely done it, but I'm okay with not doing it. I'm okay with starving this guy out. Like, the attention is his bloodline. The attention is how he stays relevant during his 1 year suspension, right? But anyway, we have something great here. A little over a month away. What am I talking about? Terence Bud Crawford versus Israel Madrimov. I'm really, really looking forward to this fight. This is a huge, huge step up for both guys for different reasons, of course. Israel Madrimov he's a Olympic medalist. He has 10 fights under his belt, but the guy can fight, right? He's not some green. He's not some green fighter in there who doesn't know what he's doing. The guy is a natural fighter. I've watched him. I got caught up. Now, I'll be honest, I didn't really know a lot about him until this fight was made. But once the fight was made, I went back and watched the tape on this guy, right? He's not your typical uh, Euro fighter. I believe fights out of Kazakhstan. Um, so he brings some special skills to the table. Of course, we know he's a bigger guy. To me, he looks like he belongs at 160, 168, honestly. Like this guy is he's a bigger guy, right? He's got a big head, like pause. Um he's got one of those big pit bull heads and shit. Um but the thing that I was impressed with was his athleticism. His athleticism is very impressive. Very twitchy in the ring. Combined with that size, he can punch a bit, right? Actually, he can punch, period. Guys, he can punch. He's kind of a puncher, right? Um, he's in and out. He's not there to be hit quite that much. At the same time, I just told you his record, 10-0, right? 10-0. So has he seen the depth of opponents? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And therein may lie the problem. Enter Terence Bud Crawford, uh, 4 division champion, right? Two-time undisputed champion. The guy has all the bells and whistles, right? He's pretty much run through the gambit of styles that you can fight at the lower weights. He was more of a pure boxer, you know. Um, Up here in his wheelhouse, welterweight, up here super welterweight. We'll see what he is at super welterweight, but at welterweight, the guy has been a counterpunching, uh, what's the word? He's been a counterpunching master, right? A counterpunching master. Uh, I'll be honest. Uh, when I was watching Bud Crawford at the lower weights, I thought he was a pure boxer, right? I thought he's a pure boxer that had some power, had some pop. He could get you out of there if he got you hurt. But I didn't know he was this guy, right? I didn't really see that until the Joe Horn fight at welterweight, which was his first welterweight, his first welterweight scrap, you know. Um, and ironically, I think we could see some similarities, right? We could see some similarities, even though Joe Horn is nothing like Madrimov. I'm not going to characterize whether he's better or worse or anything like that. That remains to be seen. What I will say is Joe Horn was a champion, just like Madrimov is a champion. Joe Horn had beat up Pacquiao, right? Regardless of how you scored the fight, like even if you scored it for Pacquiao, you can't deny that Pacquiao got beat up in that fight, right? I thought Joe Horn won the fight. Um, but Crawford, we've seen this guy pretty much do everything. Like we've seen him, uh, like I said, we've seen him operate as a pure boxer. We've seen him get on the front foot and stalk guys, even to his detriment, against Mean Machine, right? Um, and we've seen him counterpunch, which is what I think his natural calling card is, the counterpunching. I think that's what we'll see in this fight. So let's talk about the fight. Not gonna do a prediction because, like I said, we're still over a month out, right? We got to see these guys stand in front of each other. We got to see, um, we just got to see a little bit more before we start putting out predictions. I mean, I could, but just not going to, right? I'm gonna give the fight the proper amount of attention, right? So, uh, what I do see though is Crawford is a guy who's always ready to punch. His Crawford's feet are so good that he's always going to be ready to punch you. And not just touch you, he's going to be ready to punch you hard. That's kind of Bud Crawford's superpower. Like, no matter what you do, his feet are going to be in position to where he can deliver a good shot. You know, not just touching you. As CJ Goodfellas say, those back up off me punches. No, he doesn't do that. Like, he's very accurate, very accurate, but very accurate on the fly, right? Very accurate on the fly. His reaction speed is very good. Now, as I said, Madrimov is a bit of a different opponent. Like I said, he's a bigger guy, and he's also twitchy. So I'm sure there will be some things for Crawford to work through in this fight. I don't expect this to be some 3-4 round fight. I don't. But I will say this. If this fight becomes a chess match, like Bud Crawford's fights usually do, right? They usually become a chess match. Now, if the person crashes out, yeah, he will get you out of there early. Like, if you just start like doing like shit like Errol Spence, second round, just start crashing out, coming in reckless. Yeah, he'll properly dispose of you, right? But let's take the Sean Porter fight. Sean Porter, he doesn't look like that against anybody. The way Bud Crawford fought him. And I'm not even saying Sean Porter did a bad job. I thought Sean Porter fought well in that fight. But it's the fact that you can't come in there wild and crazy against Terence Crawford. Now, I remember the Ugas fight with Sean Porter, but that was of Sean Porter's own choosing. He chose to box Ugas. That's what he chose to do. It's not like Ugas did anything to force him into that. You know, with Bud Crawford, he's going to force you to think more, right? He's going to force you to slow down. I think for Madrimov, I think he needs to take the opposite approach. He needs to try to do what he can to overwhelm the guy. He's going to have to do what he can to try to overwhelm Bud Crawford. He's going to have to do what he can to try to demand some respect from Bud Crawford early in this fight. Because if it becomes a chess match, he'll be out of his depth. No question about it. But like I said, this isn't a prediction video, so I'm not gonna break the fight all the way down. But I do see some things. I see some things happening, and I'm really looking forward to this fight. When I say chasing greatness, both of these guys are chasing greatness, right? But Crawford's chasing a 5th division title, and for Islam Madrimov, this is a huge step up. This will be his 11th professional fight against a guy of this stature. So both of these guys are chasing greatness. I'm looking forward to seeing it. Shout out to Mr. Turki Alalshikh for putting this fight on. Because here's the thing. If it wasn't for Turki Alalshikh, we would still be dealing with PBC bullshit. Them trying to freeze out Bud, and they would definitely do it this time. They would have done it. There's no way he would have got a fair deal from the PBC after what he just did to one of their prize fighters, one of their special golden gooses over there. They don't have many, right? So PBC was full. We already saw that in motion with the Fundora bullshit and Tim Zhu. Both of those guys were they were gonna freeze out Bud Crawford at 154. So shout out to Mr. Turki Alalshikh for stepping in, making a big fight, bigger than anything they got going on, and just being there for the sport of boxing. So hopefully we can keep that going. Anyway, that's all I got. If you like the video, bang off on that like button one time. Peace.